How did they become this way?
What in the world is hidden deep in this ruin?
Crumble! Quake!
Look at this!
Oh, it just looks like a...
According to my knowledge, it's no ordinary vessel. Although it is only half full, it is also forever half full. That is to say, it is bottomless.
What? You're saying that even if I pour the salt out, the amount inside won't change?
Exactly.
Able to produce endless salt. The god of salt is powerful indeed.
Finally, after all that effort, I've found precious treasure. I claim this as mine. I just need to pour the endless salt into 1,000 or 10,000 bags. I can sell it and make a fortune!
Hey! How can you use a relic of the god of salt for such a shallow pursuit?
If Mr. Clement wants this salt chalice, then the next object we find will belong to Miss Wanyan, according to the contract agreed upon.
Of course, as we agreed. But how can anything be worth more than this rare find?
Since we have a contract, it's no use for me to fight with him.
Then let's move on, shall we?
I will have order.
Osmanthus wine taste.
Quake!
Just a simple ruler. It doesn't look to be worth anything.
This, if I remember correctly, this is some kind of measuring tool.
Indeed. But the god of salt imbued it with another power. When you stick this ruler in the ground, the surrounding area will become covered in salt, much like a rising tide covers the earth. The deeper it is stuck in the ground, the more salt will appear. It is essentially a bumper harvest of salt.
What? That's even better than the salt chalice!
Well then, according to our contract, the salt ruler goes to Miss Wanyan.
No, unacceptable. I paid for and organized this entire expedition. Why should I get the short end of the stick? And this girl has been useless. Why would she get anything?
Oh boy, here we go again.
So you are saying you want to break the contract?
So what if I break it? Now that I've seen how the mechanisms in this ruin work, I no longer need you. Let's not forget who hired who here. Why should I let you make the rules?
Because you agreed to a contract. Rex Lapis once said, "Ones who break their contracts shall suffer the wrath of the rock."
That is one of your Liyue gods. I am from Snezhnaya. I
Will suffer the wrath of the rock. You may find it rather unpleasant.
Pay your dues.
Nothing to fear.
This is order.
Can't run from dead.
I shall confiscate your treasure as well. You are not worthy to continue any further into the ruin. Leave this place.
Oh, darn you! Just you wait.
Some archaeological survey. He could. Yeah! Good thing Paimon can smell a liar from a mile away.
Clement's wrongdoing stemmed from greed, yes. But besides, when people see the object of their... I think we should be honest.
Huh?
That in truth,
What?
Miss, you lack even the most basic archaeological knowledge, and can recognize you aren't interested in archaeology or relics. What you're really interested in, I believe those legends about the god of salt that you mentioned on the
Okay, that's enough. Sir, you are indeed a man of great knowledge and talents. I seem to have been right to seek you out once I plucked up my courage. You're right. I'm not a scholar of archaeology. I come from one of the 8 trades under the jurisdiction of the Qixing, Yinyuan Hall of the salt industry. Our ancestors were those protected by the god of salt all those years ago, when the Archon War engulfed the land in chaos.
Oh, right! Now
During the war, Morax assassinated our god out of envy for her power. He left. We hate him! But this is Morax's Liyue after all. And its history is written, so I seek proof of Morax's guilt. He has blood on his hands and cruelty and... We agreed to a contract that we will face the truth head on, didn't we, Mr. Zhongli?
Naturally, of course. But I must add, come with me. All the answers you seek.
This is... a sword? Aha! It's a broken sword! This is proof! This proves that the god of salt had to fight back! Fight back against the evil Morax! But sadly, she was defeated. The power of this sword surely is much greater than that of the Salt Chalice and Salt Ruler. If we can repair...
Only one object per claim clause still holds true. You cannot take 2 relics at the same time.
This logic!
Zhongli, she seems like a good person, and no one is fighting over the treasure. How about you let this one slide, huh?
When there's a contract, nothing can be allowed to slide. If the contract is not followed, then it is broken.
No! If I only take one half, then it can't be repaired, and the power of the God of Salt cannot be restored. No matter what, I must be faithful to her. Even if it breaks the contract, I don't care.
So you are already decided? Then there is a price to pay for break.
Zhongli!
That is to say, you consign your...
That's okay. The God of Salt, punish me however you want.
No, you can't.
Perhaps that punishment would be easier. As punishment, I will tell...
Huh? The truth? You mean the truth is...
Yes. The truth that I am about to tell you shall be your price to pay for breaking the contract. I'm afraid to say that the God of Salt, Havria, was not the powerful god you imagine her to be. Rather, she was a small and weak god who yielded to all other gods. When it came to war, she lost, never able to win a seat among the seven.
What?
During the Archon War, the gods of this world used all their strength and cunning to vie for control of Tevat. But Havria instead chose to flee. She thought that by giving up before a fight could start, she could save herself and her people from the war. However, during such a long war, there is no end to the advances of aggressors. After making countless concessions, Havria lost all of her lands, until only one small haven remained.
No. No! It can't be so.
In her last days, she had not even a single blade to defend her people with.
Not even a single blade? Then... this sword...
This sword is not a relic belonging to the God of Salt, but is instead the murder weapon used to kill her.
Murder weapon? No! That's not true! That can't be true! You're trying to test my faith in the God of Salt.
As I said before, I only state the facts.
Preposterous! You are a follower of Morax! Don't try to trick me!
Hey! Come back!
Indeed. Otherwise, let's follow her deeper into the ruin.
Salt and betrayal.
What are all these? What did they see? What?
Since you do not trust me, let us continue onward. That which lies beyond...
Rise!
This is the scene of the crime. Havria's body dissipated, leaving nothing but these traces of salt. The story continues that some among the Archon War was cruel in the extreme.
But
No matter how weak the god, the power that flows, those who could not, those of her people who were untouched by this disaster, their descendants feared Havria's remnants and lived, so they risked their lives to come here, to break the sword and offer up obeisances in hopes that her anger might be appeased. But they need not have done so. For how could a god who had never once resisted...
This must be a lie. A falsehood. Don't you dare try to...
Yikes. Zhongli did...
This is the price she must pay, judging by how she appeared. Indeed. Faith in a god who has already... So it is for Havria. And so... All right then.
Huh?
Treading old ground. One cannot help